for the first three topics here. No? We have here transportation and navigation, communication, record keeping, mass production. Again, what we are dealing with here in this part of the lecture are the things that we consider important in the grand scheme of things when you talk about how science and technology help create the society that we have now. Huh? So anything that you could think of could be classified into one of the six um, social considerations listed here. No? So pwede, you could classify it under transportation and navigation. No? So obviously the things that we use to transport ourselves or goods and services from one place to another, including vehicles, due to the fact of due to the invention of the internal combustion engine, right? Jet propulsion for airplanes, okay, which uh, primarily makes it much more easier to transport things from one place to another. Okay, communication and record keeping. This talks about how we use communication to facilitate trade. Trade meaning uh, exchange of goods and services, right? In preventing conflicts, no, preventing conflicts or preventing escalation of conflicts, no. So we do dialogues like what we do in our conflict with China, not really conflict, but misunderstanding with China in terms of the West Philippine Sea, or as the Chinese would call it, no, South China Sea. Because mass production entails producing goods, especially food products for the masses. Okay, as you all know, everything that most of the things that you eat at home or elsewhere are not things that you grow at home. You buy those things, tama? No, most of us, unless you really are someone living sustainably, no, you are raising your own animals to eat. You are also farming your food crops, right? Otherwise, you have to buy these things in the market. Same is true for animal husbandry. If you are uh, a farmer raising farm animals for food, right? You usually don't raise all types of farm animals. No, you don't. Usually, pag may poultry ang isang farmer, no, focus siya sa poultry and other avian species. Pagka cattle lang, and so on, right? Because we are trying to mass produce. That's why we have to specialize on one or few things and not doing or producing everything. Okay, mass production. Um, Same is true for. Can you hear me? By the way, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
mass production also would would
Yes,
would
sir.
involve things that you buy in the market other than food. No, most of you have cell phones, right? May that be a smartphone or the conventional cell phone that we have. But all of those most likely are mass produced. Okay, mass production will lower the cost of goods and services. Okay, if you have a bespoke bag, no, bespoke meaning specialized bag or something made especially for you, it would cost more, right? If something is so specialized, like a designer watch, a designer clothes, no, so most likely those are not mass produced. Okay, because mass production would obviously result to having many of the same product, right? Pero on the positive note, on a positive note, on the economic side of trade, okay, it will dramatically lower the cost of the product. Okay? Kasi marami kang pwedeng ma-produce. Okay? So mass production, that's another good thing. And the last three listed here, no, we have weapons and armors, conservation of life, and engineering and architecture. Now, so in terms of weapons and armors, um, we cannot discount the fact that the rise of different ancient and modern civilization are mostly anchored by weapons and armors. No? So let me explain further. For example, no, the rise of the United States of America, the USA, as a superpower is basically anchored towards its ability to perform militarily. Okay? Do you think someone or some other countries would respect the US or any of the G8 countries? G8 meaning the Great Eight countries, including Canada, Australia, France, the UK, ano pa, Japan. No? Can you imagine any other countries respecting these countries without their military power? No. So um, that means no, weapons and armors are quite important in the development of our society as a whole. No, and mind you, guys, no, the things that we usually consider as very mundane or simple, the things that you usually use in your everyday life, like let's say microwave, or your cell phones, the remote, no, remote control of your appliances. These actually were products of military science, no, military R&D, military research and development, because most of the governments that are considered as superpowers would would give too much of its budget towards military R&D, okay, to develop new weapons, no, and somehow in the course of time these technologies, no, there will be some offshoot technologies that would come up or come out from these particular research and development. Okay, so we owe a lot to weapons and armors, no, in terms of how we do our daily lives today. Okay. um yeah, for example, another reason why weapons and armors is important. No? In our case, no, with the ongoing, shall we say, debate with the Philippines and China, no? I don't think China would treat us the way they are treating us right now if they know that we have a superior military power. Do you agree? Halimbawa, of course, we consider China today as a military superpower, right? But if let's say the Philippines is under the control of the US, let's say we are one of the states of the US, do you think China would really do the things that they're doing right now in the West Philippine Sea? Any comment? Yeah, Luis?
I definitely agree, sir, na if the China knew that we are under the US military or we have collaboration with the US military, then they would definitely respect or mas mataas po yung magiging tingin nila sa atin because most cultures valued weapons and armor as signs of rank and status in a society. So if meron po tayong mas matibay or mas malakas na weapons, then definitely the China will really look up into us din po, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Luis. No, so I really agree with what Luis said. No, kasi as you can observe, okay. For example, another good example of that is the one that happened just recently and it's still ongoing. No, the thing that happened with Russia and Ukraine, right? Ukraine, although if you really look into the reasons, different reasons why the war between Ukraine and Russia is happening right now. No, medyo maraming mga point of views, kumbaga. But in a macro scale, no, looking out it outside in a bigger picture, no, I don't think Russia will do its military offensive against Ukraine if they knew that Ukraine also has the same firepower with Russia, no? And the only thing, do you really think Russia cannot just crush it right away? Yung Ukraine, napakalit ng Ukraine. The only thing that hinders Russia from directly using all its military might to Ukraine is, of course, the fact that Ukraine is supported by the US and NATO, no, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, although somehow indirectly. Okay, Russia also would like to have self-preservation. They don't want to escalate things so much na baka mag-retaliate naman ang US, no, and mag-lead into nuclear war. Okay, so these things that are happening right now, again, also another example, no, the brewing war between China and Taiwan. Taiwan is on the brink of somehow war with China because China is trying to reestablish its dominance over Taiwan. Taiwan today is the Taiwanese consider themselves as an independent nation from China, right? The Chinese wants to reestablish the fact that Taiwan is under the control of China. Kaya ngayon, no, nababalitaan nyo sa news, international news, China is already positioning itself, no, in a way na ready silang umatake at kunin ang Taiwan in anytime, no? Ang problema, ang Taiwan is supported by the US again. Okay? So these things are important, no, in nation building, no, weapons and armors. Today, as much as we can, the Philippines is trying to modernize our military power, no? That's why we are uh, currently purchasing, no, better ammunition, better firepower, better boats for patrolling our seas, no, because we are an archipelago. Better helicopters attack and otherwise and so on, no? Okay, another here is your conservation of life. Okay, so conservation of life talks about the how we try our best, human as a species, to preserve our lives. No, how do we do that? Now, aside from, of course, consuming things necessary for survival, we try to discover cures, no, discover cures, and prevent illnesses. Okay. Now, don't think that the modern medicine, no, modern way of treating things is is a new invention or discovery. No, now even people from or ancient people already have their own way of treating illness, right? Folkloric medicine. No, yung mga ancient people, we have shamans, no, witch doctors, if you can call them that, no, but they are attuned in using nature like plant products, no, and other things to try to cure certain common illness that they have in their village, in their society. Okay, and today, mind you, most majority of the treatments that we have available today commercially, no, are products of the natural world, no. So conservation of life, we want to always lengthen our lifespan, no. So can you imagine, let's say 200 years before, okay, if you were into an accident, okay, a grave accident, most likely you'll die. But today, no, there are a lot of things that uh, the medical world can do to prevent you from dying. No, although you can never really prevent death. No, uh, everyone will in the future, but we can, in some form, lengthen or avoid uh, debts that can be cured, no? Or those debts that are products of common illness or pathogenic illness. Okay, conservation of life, and lastly we have engineering and architecture. Okay, so throughout time, no, we've seen infrastructures. Okay, uh, today the only thing that is left from the ancient wonders of the world is of course the pyramids in Egypt, right? Although there are other pyramids elsewhere in the world. No, we have in Indonesia, we have pyramids in South America, in Peru, in Mexico. Okay, we also have pyramids in Sri Lanka, in Cambodia. So the pyramids are also found elsewhere. But in terms of the in the list of ancient wonders, no, you only have the Great Pyramids of Giza, and these are, no, really um, wonders, engineering wonders, no, wonders in a sense that today no one is really quite sure how they really built it, no. We are still having debates on whether or not it was built to 2,000 years to 2,500 years ago, or 11,000 years ago, or even much earlier than that. Okay, so the point here is, as civilizations progress, we also have the ability, we also gain the ability to create things, no, um, that would make our civilization uh, better, that could make us dwell in a place that are supposed to be um somehow only meant for, let's say, 1,000 people, no. So how do we do that? We build buildings, or we build infrastructures upwards vertically. Tama? Can you imagine if you have uh, one 100 square meters, no? Let's say sa bahay ninyo. Let's say ang bahay niyo ay 100 square meters ang inyong lote. Okay? Kung gagawa kayo ng bahay ng 100 square meters, ilan ang pwedeng makatira doon? Tama? Siguro mga 10. Pwede naman. Pero if you have 100 square meters na bahay or na lupa, na lote, pero magpatayo ka ng, let's say, 10-story building na 100, 10-story building, mas maraming pwedeng makatira doon. Right? Do you agree? Kasi nga, mas marami na ngayong floor area. No? And that's one of the reasons why we have great cities. Okay? Can you imagine pag walang mga malalaking skyscrapers or big buildings with multiple floors? No? Isang floor lang lahat, nasa lupa lang lahat, nakatayo ang mga structure. No, we cannot have people uh, that wi- uh, that much people in cities, mind you. No? So uh, these six considerations here, no, are the most important considerations in when you talk about how science and society, or science and technology, help build our society for today. Right? Question so far? Comments? Okay. So if there's none, let's continue. Okay. So your assignment really was to create an artwork of some sorts, no? So one PowerPoint slide, no? Depending on the time period where you were assigned. So I hope that everyone knows kung saang time period sila na-assign, right? So we have two in the ancient times, two in the Middle Age, two in the modern, and two Philippines. No? Sa Philippines, kahit saan sa Philippines. No? Kahit anong time frame. Okay, so when you talk about these technological advancement, no, we could classify them, no, depending on the time frame where they belong. No? So we have ancient times from 6,000 BCE to 650 CE. Okay, 6,000 BCE to 650 CE. Okay? BCE stands for, ano ba ang BCE? Ano ba ang
Before
BCE?
common era.
Before Common Era. And ang CE
Opo.
is yung Common Era. Tama? And
Opo, sir.
what particular event do we use in establishing BC and BCE or AD and CE? What particular event? Well, the event is, of course, the birth of Christ. Tama? For Christians.
Yes po, sir.
No? So we use that. Now, why don't we use, or why do we not use, let's say, the birth of Muhammad or who else in other religion? Well, simply because when this particular way of describing events, history, now the most predominant religion at that time is of course Christianity. Yun lang yun. Okay? No other reason. So for example, if you say 5,000 BCE, how many years ago is that from today? Ito na lang, 6,000 BCE. How many years ago ito? Just to establish the facts here. How many years ago is 6,000 BCE? Yeah. Go ahead, Earl.
3,981 po, sir.
Sorry? Ang 6,000 BCE ay
3,981 po, sir.
3,981. Okay. Thank you, Earl. Any other answer, Ashley?
8,000 years ago.
8,000 years ago. Okay. So the correct answer is around 8,000 years ago. Right? Because today, anong year ngayon?
23 po, sir.
2023. Okay? So basically ang year natin ngayon is 2023 AD or 2023 CE, no? So AD and CE usually has no difference, no? Similar sila, only that pag AD, Anno Domini, you are looking at things more religiously, no? Mas secular yung CE. Okay? So kumbaga, kung buhay pa si Jesus Christ ngayon, okay, ilang taon na siya? Ilang taon na siya? Guys, ilang taon na si Jesus kung buhay siya ngayon? Approximately, he is 23 years old, right? Depending kung anong araw siya nabuhay, right? Okay, kung halimbawa, December 25 talaga, which I doubt kung talaga, pero kung December 25 ang birthday niya, 2022 na ang edad ni Jesus. Nakuha ninyo? You follow?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So, ang ancient times is 6,000 BCE. So, that's 6,000 plus 2023. Right? Because ang year zero natin is yung year kung kailan pinanganak si Jesus. Okay? So, pag BCE, before year zero, 6,000 plus ngayon. So, that's 8,000 plus, 8,020 plus something. Okay, so that's ancient times up to 650 CE. Ang Middle Age is around, no? If you notice, the time frames are uh, are overlapping, no? So that's around 500 to 1,500 years ago, no? 1,500. No. Year 500 AD, that's 500 CE to 1,500. Okay, so that's you could subclassify them into three: early Middle Age, high, and late Middle Age. Okay, So ang late Middle Age, basically ito na yung Renaissance. Okay? Ito yung panahon kaya nabuhay yung mga Ninja Turtles, si Donatello, Raphael, Leonardo, and Michelangelo. No? So ito yung Renaissance stage, the rebirth of Europe. Okay? But in those cases, by the way guys, etong mga years na ito, mostly, these are based on European uh, based on European advancements. Okay? Nakuha. Although, around the same time, meron din mga different advancements elsewhere in China, in Southeast Asia, in South America, no? Marami naman. Pero ito kasi more on European ang itong mga ini-indicate dito. Okay? And then modern age, no? Meron tayong early and late modern age. You have 1500s to 1750, that's early modern period, and the late modern period is from 1750 up to the Second World War. That's around 1945. Okay? So ngayon, we are in the space age, no? Modern than modern tayo ngayon, right? The new millennium, kumbaga. Okay. So, if you talk about the ancient times, no, there are a lot of ancient civilizations that left a mark in how we do in kumbaga, how we do things today, right? So, primary on those ancient civilizations is the Sumerian civilization. No? This is the civilization that is found in modern day Iraq and Iran, somewhere in that part in the Middle East. No? And why do we know of them today? Well, because they left some artifacts. Okay? They left some artifacts. By the way, if you talk about, if you say artifacts, these are things that are left by civilizations, not people. Okay? Can you still hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you say artifact, these are things that was left by people before. No? No one in particular, basta an entire people. Okay. Halimbawa, artifact from ancient Philippines. Okay. Uh, but when you say relic, pag relic, it's an artifact, but is mostly associated with a particular person or a particular group of people. Halimbawa, relic of, let's say, Hitler. Ganon. Relic of whoever person, Julius Caesar. Ganon. Okay? Of course, that's different from a fossil, right? So a fossil naman, these are organic remains that are fossilized or were turned into some sort of stone. Okay, because of pressure and heat. Okay, so those are different things. Okay, so yung Sumerian civilization, you could read a lot about these civilizations that we have. That are there are a lot of things that the Sumerian civilization were first known to be the first to do things like the invention of the wheel. No, they have sailboats. Okay, so they can transport themselves from one place to another using the rivers. No, found in ancient Middle East. They had a form of writing and communication. No, a form of writing and record keeping. You have here the cuneiform. Now, these are cuneiforms. These are not just simple writing, but these are these symbols here that were formed from clay. These are clay tablets, of course. Signifies specific words, sound, or even events. Okay, and then they had their own calendar and whatnot. So they were, of course, a great civilization. No? You also have the Babylonian civilization. No? Of course, you've heard of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, right? We don't have any evidence of that particular garden, but I do believe it's written in one of the chapters in the Bible, no, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, no, which shows how much uh, how important architecture is in signifying the how far a civilization is progressing. Okay, so they had studies of the stars, no, constellation. They know how to read stars, no, to and relate it to seasons, to navigation, no? And they also have, no, the most famous Code of Hammurabi, okay, which is a document, a written document in clay tablet that depicts how the different laws in that time period. Okay, you also have Egyptian, of course, the Egyptian civilization. There are a lot of things that are coming out, especially in the recent years, and the different kumbaga, mga conspiracy theories about how the Egyptian civilization really was, no? But the 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 greater accepted view of Egyptian civilization is, of course, they had the pyramids that were meant to be as a tomb for pharaohs. No, although there are a lot of things that, or a lot of people who argues against that. Okay, they had their own way of writing the hieroglyphs, no, hieroglyphics. They had papyrus. No, aside from writing on the walls on clay, they much prefer writing in papyrus. Okay. Uh, who else? They were the famous slavers of the Jews, right? The people of Moses, right? In the Egyptians, yon. Okay. You also have the Greek civilization, no? Actually, the Greek and the Egyptian civilization in history were contemporaries, no? Habang nandyan ang Egyptian civilization, nandun din ang Greek civilization, right? In fact, one of the most famous of the leaders of Egyptian civilization, si Cleopatra, no, was once a mistress or a lover of one of the great generals of Greece, no, si Mark Antony, right? So they really were into ano ba? They had connections with each other. Okay, the Egyptian and the ancient Greek civilization. Okay, so um, majority of the things that these civilizations um, developed was ito, meron silang weapons, no, architecture, really navigation using the stars and whatnot. Okay, and uh, inventions that leads to better mass production of food. Yun usually ang kanilang mga focus, no? Mga ancient civilizations natin. Question so far? Okay, before we finish, no, saan na ba tayo? Okay, but by the way, no, so aside from those, meron tayong Roman civilization. Okay, you have the Chinese, no? We cannot discount the fact that Chinese really also had their their own way of doing things. No, they were very successful. The ancient Chinese were very successful. Okay, you have the Middle Ages. Excuse me. So the Middle Age, you had inventions like the printing press, no, which led to mass production of books, right? Noon, paisa-isa lang. Pag nagkopya ka ng libro, kailangan mo ikopya siya by hand. But with the advent of the printing press, no, uh, nagkaroon ng mass production. So information is easily distributed to the masses. No? The use of spectacles and other offshoot inventions from grinding of lenses or glass. No, you have the telescope, you have the microscope. All of these are product of grinding of glass or lenses. The spinning wheel for mass production of clothing. The modern age, you have the discovery or the invention of the light bulb, the steam engine, the telephone, the internet, computers, cell phones, okay, medicine like the serendipitous event that led to the discovery of penicillin, okay, which helped uh, avoiding a lot of deaths in World War II. Okay, so all of these things, okay, are important in developing the society that we have right now. Philippine inventions like the OL trap, no? Um, ova larval trap, mosquito ova and larval trap. You have erythromycin, the incubator by Fidelmundo, the quick ink, fluorescent lamp, no? All of these, although there were other controversies surrounding some of these Philippine inventions, now we can't deny the fact that Filipinos also had their fair share of discoveries and inventions for the entire world. Okay, which led, of course, supposed to be to our first group activity titled "Standing on the Shoulder of Giants." Okay, this particular title, "Standing on the Shoulder of Giants," is an excerpt from a quotation from Isaac Newton. No, Isaac Newton, of course, is the one who proposed the or kumbaga proposed gravity, that gravity exists. Okay, the famous apple falling in front of him, right, in Oxford. What else? He is also credited for the invention of calculus, no, because the mathematics at his time was not enough, so he invented his own mathematics, calculus. You have calculus right now. So he said in the line of he only can do things because he was standing on the shoulder of giants. Now, which meant that the things that we have right now are, of course, product of previous discoveries. No, we did not uh, we did not come here in a blink of an eye. No, there were several giants, so to speak. No, giants of the scientific world. No, that gave us inventions and discoveries. No, that we worked that we just developed. No, so kumbaga before pa nagkaroon ng ano ba, ng smartphone, nagkaroon na ng telephone. Tapos dahan-dahan nag-improve na depending on the innovate the need, na, because ang sabi natin anong tawag niya? What was the saying? Necessity is the mother of invention. If you need something, they would try to do something to meet that particular need. So if you need better communication, then you must invent or you must innovate the existing communication devices, no, to have a better one. Okay, so it's standing on the shoulder giant. I hope you understood the meaning of this particular title. Okay, so if you can, sabi niya parang if I can see further, it's only because I'm standing on the shoulder of giants. Right? Kumbaga, dahil marami siyang nagawa dahil may unang gumawa na kanya lang pinagpatuloy. Okay? Standing on the shoulder of giants. So, by next meeting, when would that be? Would it be on Wednesday? Wednesday ba yun? Anong oras yun? Same time?
Yes po.
Yes po, sir.
Check lang natin kasi meron kami seminar on Wednesday. So I'll just tell you kung we could have a class. But if we will, no, be ready with your presentation. So I ask you to create a presentation, no? One slide lang naman yung presentation is supposed to be, but you have to explain it right? For 5 to 8 minutes kung kaya nyo. Okay? And your presentation should involve, okay, a slide, no, with the pictures of your chosen food discoveries or invention, no, from the era or the time period where you were assigned or that you chose. Based on our conversation last week, no, uh, every group is assigned to a particular time period. Tigda dalawa. Dalawang ancient, dalawang middle, modern, and then Philippines. Okay? Any questions so far? Any clarifications, assignment?
None, sir.
Okay na, Luis? Sige. Anything? Go ahead.
Sir, yung sa presentation po namin, sir, bali, one slide lang pong ipakita, sir.
Well, dahil presentation na siya, uh, at least merong slide, let's say, okay lang kung prepare kayo ng maraming slides, pero there should be a slide in particular that contains the invention. Okay? Para fair sa lahat.
Okay po, sir.
No? Kung isa lang talaga ang i-prepare nyo, walang problema sa akin. Tapos nandun lang yung whatever that you need to present. Okay? So if you prepare again more than one slide, make sure that one of the slides is the actual assignment. Yung iba, mga ano na lang, mga explanation and what have you. Pero, okay, so if there's no other comments, questions, I'll take a screenshot for attendance. If you can, please open your camera kung kaya ng signal nyo. Okay. Thank you, Nico. Nikos. Sige. Actually, mahina ang signal ko, kaya nawawala ako. Anyway, sige, I'll take the screenshot now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. Good morning, guys. By the way, later, hindi muna tayo mag-meet. Para yun, no?
Yes, sir.
Meet later lang muna, ha?
Yes, sir.
By the way, kung hindi nyo na-check, meron akong binigay doon sa Google Classroom for Analytical Chem. Please try to start reading yung portion, first part. Okay? I left you the basic instruction there sa Google Classroom for the Analytical Chem class. Alright? Sige. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir.